remember watching Star Wars, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and other big fantasy franchises and wondered, where are all the black characters or people of color in the film? Or what about your sons and daughters dressing up for Halloween as a superhero, but had to wear a mask that was pale skin instead of your child's? Filmmakers and audiences had come a long way from being presented as stereotypes in different mediums. From seeing people of color as slaves, immigrants, gangsters, pimps, lower class, and other negatives. We are living in an age now where we can finally control our own narratives being presented in film, books, comics, and other mediums. Lovecraft Country is a result of us being able to live our own fantasies on screen, having our own Luke Skywalker, our own Harry Potter, and other iconic characters. Not as a copy, but presented as iconic as those characters are in pop culture. Lovecraft Country is a show I feel that was made with love, integrity, and acknowledge on how many sacrifices were made in order to be where we at today in real life. Now, Lovecraft Country isn't perfect, which I'll get into later on, but I'm truly grateful that this show is existing for everyone.
A rainbow coalition of oppressed brothers and sisters of every color.
The characters in Lovecraft are all interesting and represents the black or people of color experience in different situations. Atticus, played by Jonathan Majors, had an amazing performance and was the heart and soul of the show. Atticus represents what a black man that was around the 1950s era had to go through in that time: war, misunderstanding, and carrying a burden that will help Atticus' family in the next generation. Atticus was a character that was into reading books, science, and magic, which was refreshing to see in the main black character. So shout out to Majors for this role and the character's Atticus. Letty, played by Journey Smollett, was also great in Lovecraft, and she was gorgeous, my god!
Yeah, that brother's starving.
Yes, sir, brother.
Abandonment issues are mostly what Letty did go through on her story. Letty was a female character that was strong, complex, and was a true ride or die for Atticus. Another character, George, played by Courtney B. Vance, had a great presence in the show that's memorable. Montrose Freeman, Atticus' daddy, and Ruby Baptiste, Letty's sister, played by Michael K. Williams, and Wume Moscow, were great in Lovecraft as well and were huge parts of the show. All I can say is that they were all the most complex out of all the characters in the show. There were so many more characters that I wish to talk about, but all in all, they were great. Now, this is where I get into my favorite episodes, so a little bit of spoilers if for some reason you still haven't seen Lovecraft. Anyway, episode 9, Rewind 21, was one of my favorite episodes because it gives the audience the closest thing to understanding what Lovecraft Country is about. The episode was about all types of black struggles, from the Tulsa riots in 1921, homophobia in that time, and about family legacies. Montrose Freeman had some regrets he would like to take back, but it can't stop him from the mission he had to take to save his family in his time. This episode represents sacrifice and how it is necessary in order for the next generation to move forward. For example, people in the civil rights movement had to march and take them beatings from the police in order for our generation to have a better future. The one shot that stood out to me the most in this episode, I can say, is about Letty walking through fire. So episode 9 was great. Episode 6, Meet Me in Daou, in my opinion, is one of the best episodes of the year. The episode is not even about Letty or Atticus. It's about Jihad, played by Jamie Chung. In the episodes before 6, you will see a Korean girl that's speaking to Atticus throughout the first 5 episodes. And you're wondering, what's the context of this girl Atticus keeps talking to? This episode is basically its own thing, and you can just watch this episode and never have to watch any other episodes. It has a beginning, middle, and end. You get to know Jihad's backstory, her affiliation to Atticus, and who she really is. For some reason, from the music to the acting to basically everything, it felt like a 1-hour movie. But the thing that stood out to me the most in this episode was how it shows Atticus not being perfect. Atticus from GS point of view is looked at as a crooked, but eventually from talking to them had an understanding of what these two had been through. That black people are not the only ones that are being discriminated against. So if you need to watch any episode from Lovecraft Country, it's this one. Warning, it's weird like all the other episodes of Lovecraft, but if you're into anime, you'll definitely appreciate this episode. Now, the negatives I have with Lovecraft Country are the rules that they have for the show. In the first few episodes of Lovecraft, they set up the monsters, magic, and demons can exist in this world, right? And I'm like, cool. But all of a sudden, you have a whole different, I'll just say, genre that just pops out in the later episodes. Now they have a few hints, but we don't know how it would turn out. It didn't turn down the show for me because it ended up being really cool in the end, but I just wish they had set that genre up earlier in the Lovecraft episodes. Another little negative is that I felt the story was going too fast. As I mentioned before, one thing happens in one episode, then the next one, a whole different thing happens. The creators could have took their time and maybe even add another season, but I understand you gotta go out. You gotta go all out. It's not really a negative, but a pet peeve. I get weirded out when today's hip hop is played in the background during the 1950s. Like, it's good music, but does it fit with the time? Thought I'd just put that out there. Misha Green, the creator of Lovecraft Country, blessed us with a great series in Lovecraft Country, and I hope it continues because there is so much more they can explore. All the actors from Jonathan Majors, Journey Smollett, Jamie Chung, and other cast members did their thing. Even though it can be weird for some of y'all, I would at least give it a shot. I promise you won't regret it, and even if you still don't understand the show, it has some fun moments that will keep you entertained. I will give Lovecraft Country 4 out of 5 stars. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And I'm out, y'all. Peace.